I was there the day Earth made a sound it was never supposed to make, a sound so deep it rattled windows, and then rattled people. You don't forget the day a planet screams, or the moment you realize it wasn't screaming. It was responding to us. My name is Lieutenant Marrakeen, Geosignal Division, Earth Defense Network. 3 months ago, every sensor on the planet recorded the same impossible event. At 2:17 a.m. UTC, Earth emitted a pulse, not from space, not from the atmosphere, but from the core, a sound no human had ever heard before. No shape, no language, no pattern, but undeniably intentional, a message. From underneath us, scientists said it was seismic activity. Analysts said it was equipment failure. Politicians said it was nothing of concern. But people knew. Animals knew. We all felt it. Something ancient and buried had finally whispered back. Command deployed me and my team to the deep scan station in Patagonia, one of the few places on Earth where the crust is thin enough to listen to what lies beneath. What we found didn't make sense. The pulse wasn't random. It had structure. Repeating waves, timed intervals, harmonic frequencies. No natural formation, no earthquake, no volcanic activity creates a signal shaped like a heartbeat. Earth wasn't shifting. It was waking up. The second pulse came 48 hours later. This time the ground trembled. Rivers rippled. Entire cities reported lights flickering in a perfect 12-second rhythm, and then the nightmares began. Thousands dreamed of the same thing, a dark chamber of stone, a spiral of glowing cracks, and a massive shape sleeping in the center, breathing, waiting. When they woke, some had dirt under their fingernails. Others had bruises in the shape of fingerprints. One man in Cairo was found sleepwalking toward the desert, murmuring in a language older than any known human tongue. They all described the same voice saying the same words. Let me see you. On the 5th day, the sky changed. Not visibly, but audibly. Birds stopped singing. Wind stopped howling. Every sound in nature went silent at once. We didn't hear the third pulse. We felt it, a pressure behind the eyes, heat in the chest, a vibration in the skull that made teeth ache. People dropped to their knees. Some screamed. Some laughed. A few simply stared upward as if waiting for something to descend, but nothing came from above. Because the presence wasn't in the sky. It was under our feet. Command ordered us into the subsurface tunnels to plant seismic dampeners. But the farther we went, the more the rock beneath us changed. Granite twisted like soft clay. Sediment clung to the walls like muscle fibers. Heat signatures pulsed in a rhythm identical to a human nervous system. Earth wasn't behaving like a planet. It was behaving like a body, a living one. At 900 meters down, we found the chamber. The same one from the dreams, same spiral cracks, same impossible heat, and at its center, something waited, a shape made of stone and void, half fossil, half something else. Something that watched the moment we stepped inside. It didn't move. It didn't speak. But the pulse hit harder, a wave of pressure that threw us to the ground. And then, we heard it, not in our ears, in our heads. A voice like mountains shifting. You are late. My team panicked. Weapons came up. Lights flickered. Dust rained from the ceiling, and the shape, the thing inside Earth, began to rise. Slow, endless, terrifying, not hostile. Not angry, just curious. Like humanity was the insect that had crawled across its skin, and now it wanted a closer look. I slept to forget, it whispered. But you remembered me. It showed us visions. Worlds before ours, species that rose and fell, humanity's place in a cycle older than time. And then it said the words that haunt me still. You woke me. So now, wake with me. We ran. We climbed. We escaped, but the pulses didn't stop. They got stronger. Now the rhythm is everywhere. In the oceans, in the storms, in our bodies, in our sleep. Earth is no longer just a home. It's a host, a being older than we can comprehend, and it's opening its eyes. We thought we were alone on this planet. But Earth has always had company. We just never noticed that the company was inside. People think the end of the world comes with fire, or invasion, or the sky tearing open. But our ending didn't come from above us. It came from below. From the thing that had been dreaming under our feet for longer than our species has existed, and in part one, that thing finally woke up, but waking wasn't the end. After we escaped the chamber, Command sealed the tunnels, explosives, reinforced concrete. Every entrance buried under 200 meters of steel and stone. They thought the thing would stay contained, that the mountain would hold it. But mountains don't hold something that's part of the planet itself. The pulses grew stronger. At first they shook windows. Then they knocked down satellites. Then entire continents felt them in synchrony, as if Earth's heartbeat had become global. People everywhere reported the same symptoms: pressure behind the eyes, a ringing in the skull, dreams of spirals, and the ancient voice whispering, "Wake." Within a week, plants began to change. Trees in South America started growing bioluminescent veins. Roots in Africa pulsed with rhythmic heat. Fields of crops across Europe swayed to the pulse, moving together. Even without wind, something beneath us wasn't just waking up. It was rewiring the planet, and humanity had no idea if we were part of that plan or an obstacle. The first real sign that we were losing control came from a small town in Norway. A group of children, 27 of them, walked into the woods at night, every single one in perfect silence. Every single one barefoot. Their parents followed their tracks deep into the forest, until the print stopped at a perfect circle burned into the ground. Inside the circle, the earth glowed, pulsing in time with the heartbeat. When the children were found, they were standing in a ring, eyes wide open, all whispering the same phrase: "It hears us." Command dragged me back in moment the reports hit. I was the only surviving witness from the chamber, the only one the thing talked to. They wanted answers. They wanted translations. They wanted weapons. But I had one question: what is it trying to wake up? The answer waited 100 kilometers underground. They called the mission Core Project Zero, a deep-bore descent with a new type of drilling machine. Titanium shell, heat shielding, magnetoseismic dampeners. They wanted me to go back down, to speak to the thing, to reason with it. But you don't reason with a sleeping god. You beg it to go back to sleep. The drill dropped for 4 hours straight. Temperatures rose. Lights flickered. Metal groaned like something enormous was pressing back against us. The walls pulsed with veins of molten light. Not lava. Not magma. Something alive. Then the drill hit. Air, open space. A cavity the size of a small country. The chamber wasn't empty this time. It wasn't still. It was moving. The spiral cracks from before had grown, branching outward like roots through stone, glowing, pulsing, stretching into the darkness, and there, rising from the center, was the shape, the ancient, impossible being that had slept under humanity's feet. But it wasn't stone anymore. It wasn't fossil. It wasn't dormant. It was forming, like the earth was building a body for it, a body shaped like us. The drill's sensors went dead. Lights went black. Silence collapsed into a single deafening pulse, and then it spoke again. Not aloud, inside my mind. You stand on me. You feed from me. You grow from me. Its voice felt like pressure from every direction. Like gravity had learned how to talk. I forgot you. You forgot me. I asked it the only question I could manage. What are you? The chamber shook. The roots pulsed. The walls groaned. And then the answer came. I am the first memory of this world. And you are the last. The warning. The being stretched upward, its form now unmistakably humanoid. Human shape, human structure, but impossibly vast, terrifying, primeval. It reached toward the arching ceiling of the chamber. and every stone it touched glowed white hot. Then it whispered, "The universe is waking, and it remembers what you were meant to become." I didn't understand. Not until it said the final words. "You were never meant to crawl on the surface. You were meant to join me." Below, the drill buckled. Alarms blared. Heat climbed past survivable levels. Metal bent inward like hands crushing a tin can. We fired every thruster, blew every ballast, ignored every safety protocol, and ran. The last thing I saw as the drill shot upward toward the surface was the being unfolding its limbs, pressing its hands into the earth, sending pulses outward that shook the entire planet. It wasn't trying to kill us. It was trying to change us, wake us, rewrite us, and it was succeeding. Now it's been 12 hours since the descent. The pulses are stronger, global, inescapable. Plants glow at night. Animals move in synchronized rhythms. Storms circle in spirals that match the cracks in the chamber. The Earth isn't just alive. It's communicating, and the message is getting clearer. Wake up. Come home. Descend. Earth is no longer just waking. It's calling, and the terrifying part. Some people are starting to answer. It was only the beginning. When I surfaced from the chamber, I thought the nightmare was behind us. I thought humanity's greatest threat was buried deep beneath our feet. I was wrong. The threat was already in us, because Earth wasn't just waking up. It was remembering, and when something ancient remembers you, it does not forget. The pulses grew stronger by the hour. Not like tremors, not like earthquakes. These were signals. Rhythmic, precise, intentional. Across the world, people began to change. Not violently, not suddenly, but slowly, softly. It started with sensations. A subtle warmth under the skin, a vibration in the bones, the feeling that your heartbeat wasn't yours anymore. Doctors reported people's vitals syncing with the planetary pulse, 12 seconds apart, just like the chamber. And then came the voices. People heard whispers when no one was speaking. They heard their names inside running water. They heard messages in the rustle of leaves. They understood languages they had never learned. Earth wasn't just waking up. It was communicating with its children. Forests across the globe began glowing at night. Branches hummed softly. Roots spread with impossible speed. We watched in horror as a single oak tree in Denmark grew 6 meters in 17 hours. When scientists cut a section of its bark, they found something impossible beneath it. Nerve cells. The kind found in human brains. Earth wasn't growing trees. It was growing connections. A planetary nervous system, and those connections were reaching for us. By day 10, millions were experiencing the same symptoms. Eyes dilated permanently. Skin warm to the touch. Dreams filled with spirals of stone and glowing veins. And then, people started humming, a low, soft, perfect tone. All in the same key, all in the same rhythm, all over the world. No one knew how they learned it. No one remembered starting. They just hummed. Every 12 seconds it was beautiful and horrifying. Command called them resonant individuals. We called them something else, the choir. They weren't violent. They weren't sick. They weren't afraid. They were peaceful, calm, connected, as if they understood something the rest of us didn't. I tried to isolate myself, locked in a reinforced lab. No sound, no signals, no light except the emergency glow, but the pulse found me anyway. Inside the walls, inside the floor, inside my skull. I felt roots like thin wires weaving through my thoughts. I felt memories that weren't mine, cities underwater, mountains that breathed, skies shaped by intelligence older than time. Earth wasn't waking to judge us. It was waking to restore us, whatever we thought humans were. We were wrong. We were not the end of evolution. We were the interruption. Humanity was something older, deeper, something that once lived with the planet, not on it. And now the planet wanted that version back. It started in the countryside. Groups of people walking silently into forests, into caves, into mountains, not in panic, not in pain, in devotion. Drawn by the pulse beneath the ground, thousands disappeared into tunnels, mines, subways, anywhere the earth opened its arms, and when rescue teams followed, all they found were spirals of glowing cracks on the floor, leading deeper into the dark. The descenders didn't disappear. They were returning to something old, something waiting. 2 weeks after the first pulse, the planet convulsed. Not violently, but deeply. Seismographs showed every tectonic plate moving in perfect rhythm. Volcanic vents glowed gold instead of red. The continents resonated like strings on a giant instrument. And somewhere beneath the Appalachian Mountains, a sound broke through the rock. Not a pulse. Not a hum, a voice, clear, human, ancient. You forgot who you were. I fell to my knees. My vision blurred. Every bone in my body felt like it was vibrating apart. Come home. That was the moment we knew Earth wasn't trying to destroy us. It was waking us up to what we used to be, a species connected through the planet itself. Humanity wasn't evolving. It was reconnecting, rejoining the root of what we were meant to be. Scientists finally decoded the pulses. It took thousands of quantum processors, the most powerful AI on the planet, and a team of linguists, including me. The message was simple, terrifying, beautiful. You were never children of the stars. You were children of me. Now remember, Earth didn't belong to us. We belonged to Earth, a species grown from its soil, cut off from its root, now being brought back, whether we wanted it or not. The planet is no longer just waking. It's calling its children home. And the real horror? Somewhere deep inside, part of me wants to answer.